Hi everyone, so I've been in the Amazon FBA game for 5 years, and in this video I'm going to be going through my honest review of it in 2025, okay? Because there's a lot of people, let's say if you're thinking of starting, you're out there debating whether or not you should start. In this video, it's going to be as honest as you're going to find anywhere on the internet, and yeah, stay till the end because there'll be a lot of information in the video, and yeah, like I said, honest review on whether or not it's the right business for you, because I'm guessing that's why you're watching the video. So, as usual, I've got my trusty phone with my notes on to stop me from like spiraling into different topics of Amazon. So, my honest review, okay? First things first, I want to start with the positives. Okay, so Amazon FBA is a massive opportunity if you're thinking of starting, okay? To develop a business that brings you consistent profits every single month, to grow and build a business which brings you consistent profits every single month. It's a massive opportunity. Okay, you've already got access to the customers who use Amazon. You've already got the products which are already churning every single month. Everything is there for you. It's a massive opportunity if it's your first business, or even if it's not your first business, it's a huge opportunity. For example, me, I started with, well, my first wholesale order was 600 quid. And since then, I've done over 7 figures on the platform, we do over 100K a month in revenue on Amazon. Yes, there is revenue, but it just shows you that started with a 600 quid order. Okay, so that's something to consider. And me, I never had a business before, nothing. And I've been able to scale it to this point. Okay, so it is a massive opportunity out there for you if you want to start to make some money online. Okay, and it's very scalable. Okay, like I've just said, where I've scaled it to, it's very, very scalable if you have the right knowledge and you're willing to put the work in, right? And it's flexible. You can do it from anywhere in the world when it's set up. I shouldn't say correctly, but when it's set up in a specific way. Okay, you can work remotely, you can work anywhere in the world, you can achieve time freedom, you can achieve location freedom as well. Okay, so these are my honest truths about the advantages that doing Amazon FBA, especially wholesale, can bring you. Okay, and it also opens you up to many doors outside of Amazon with these relationships, right? Networking with people who have been in the B2B world for years, who've been in the market for years. That can bring you opportunities outside of Amazon, or even further opportunities within Amazon. For example, brand exclusivity. That's one opportunity within Amazon. Outside of Amazon, it can bring you opportunities to become your own wholesaler, whereby you're supplying local businesses due to your relationships with reps. You might have a rep come up to you and say, look, we've got this coffee shop which wants to buy some of this brand which you hold from us. Can you supply them? I'll give you their number, I'll give you their contact, just so that you can build your own portfolio of businesses which you supply. Okay, so it can open doors for you outside of Amazon. Now, they're the positives of Amazon FBA wholesale, right? And you can get the consistent profits every single month. You can build a business that makes you 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 grand a month in profit. If you know what you're doing, you have the right foundations in place, you have the right systems in place, you're doing and running the business to a high level. They're the advantages, and that is completely true. But now let's go through the reality and the challenges you might face, well, you will face, okay, if you are approaching the business in an incorrect manner. Okay, well, not even just that, or the reality / challenges that you will face, full stop. Okay, first things first, it is not passive. While you can get the business to a point where it is somewhat passive, that requires hard work, an extreme amount of knowledge on how to run the business, what the processes should be, how to streamline these processes as efficiently as possible. Upfront, it is not a passive business, okay? It might take you a year to get to a point where it's somewhat passive, but it's understanding that straight off the bat, it will not be passive, okay? And essentially, it's a real business with real moving parts. You've got to have the ability to negotiate with suppliers. You've got to have the ability to understand cash flow, forecast your cash. You've got to have to deal with account health issues. It is a real business, okay? It's not passive income. At the start, you've got to understand how to deal with all these things and streamline all these processes and handle these issues that come up as and when. Okay, so that's another truth of the business, which not many people talk about. Okay, the next truth which I want to touch on is, or the next honest thing I want to touch on is that it is extremely competitive when you're doing the wrong things, which is what 99.99% of Amazon FBA wholesale sellers are doing. They're approaching the business in the wrong way, which is why they think it is saturated. Okay, if you're approaching it to a low level, it's going to be very saturated. If you're approaching it to a high level, it's extremely unsaturated. Like I said in many videos before, I do have a program which shows you how to do it to a high level, which is everything I've implemented in my business over the last 5 years, which helps us generate consistent profits every single month. We have, well, without a doubt, probably the best wholesale mentorship in the UK. Testimonials speak for themselves. A lot of our testimonials come from people who've done programs elsewhere, and they say our program is much better than all those other ones combined. If you have any questions about that program, if you want to jump on board with that program, link in the description to book a free call. But back to what I was saying. The reality of Amazon FBA wholesale for most people is it's completely saturated and the competition is too much for them. That's because they're approaching it wrong. In my program, I'll show you how to literally do wholesale in a way that's unsaturated and there's literally no competition. Okay, but the reality is for most of you who are trying to do it yourself, who don't have 5 years worth of knowledge, experience, lessons and losses behind you, like myself, if you try to do it yourself, it's going to prove to be extremely competitive and you're going to probably give up. That's just the truth. Now, another thing which you've got to understand is that with the fees increasing, shipping fees, product prices, it can, or you can be presented with a scenario whereby your margins are shrinking. In order to combat this, you've got to be working with the right source of suppliers, have the right source of relationships, understand how to negotiate to somewhat combat this, to separate yourself from the crowd. Other people out there, they don't know how to negotiate. They're working with the wrong sorts of suppliers, which cannot move on pricing. Like I said again, you've got to have the ability to find the suppliers that can actually negotiate within positions within the supply chain that have some sort of maneuverability on price points, which can help you somewhat combat with these price point, with these fee increases and these margins somewhat shrinking, because we can somewhat balance it out with the ways in which we approach the suppliers that we work with the ways in which we negotiate with these suppliers as well. Also, another reality / challenge of running an Amazon FBA business is it can be quite stressful, okay? You are waking up every single morning, checking your emails, hoping Amazon have not flagged a listing, have not flagged an issue on your account. So that's a complete, honest truth, which you're gonna have to face when it comes to Amazon, okay? Account issues that may come up, Amazon saying they need this document, they've closed down the listing in the meantime. Dealing with these things can be quite stressful, but the way in which you want to combat that, which is great about wholesale, is you work with distributors, brands, suppliers, which will have the documents for you to submit to Amazon to help overcome these issues. This is why wholesale can be very great when done correctly, when we work with the right source of suppliers. And also, it's capital intensive. It's very, very hard to continue to scale if you don't have enough cash. For example, with wholesale, I recommend having at least $1,000 to invest. The more you have, the better. The quicker you can scale with more, because you'll be able to invest in essentially high barrier to entry suppliers. You'll have to outsource, delegate tasks, invest in tools, softwares, people, VAs that can help scale your business as well. So upwards of $1,000 is recommended for wholesale. With less than that, I would not go anywhere near wholesale. Start with RA, OA, get your cash up, leverage all these discounted stock, or all this discounted stock, get your cash above $1,000 and then start wholesale. Make sure you start wholesale, understanding that you're not going to have to go on Google to find suppliers which will get you profits every single month. That's not going to happen. You need to approach it to a higher level than that. So what are the 5 biggest lessons I'd say I've learned after these 5 years? First of all, relationships will make or break your business. You have to have the ability to develop relationships, meet these reps in person, understand what these reps want out of your company, and then offer them value, and in return they'll offer you value back, usually which comes in the form of product availability that other people can't get and price availability which other people can't get as well. Okay, so these relationships will make or break your business. And also them understanding what you do as Amazon sellers will enable them to offer you opportunities which can make you a lot of money on Amazon. So that's something else. Wholesale is a long-term game as well. That's the next lesson I've learned. Okay, you cannot go into this business thinking, oh, I'm gonna make $2,000 a month starting now because I started wholesale. No, it's gonna take you 2, 3, 4, 5 months to get to the point where you've got suppliers that can make 2, 3, 4, 5 grand a month in profit. Okay, you've got to develop these relationships. You've got to build these essentially you've got to build your portfolio up in a way whereby every single product you have is from a hard to find supplier within a very good position within the supply chain, which you've developed a relationship with, it, which you've negotiated with, and you know no one else can literally just go in your storefront and stalk you. Okay, so that's something else to think about. Essentially, you cannot approach the business to a low level because you're going to get nowhere. It's going to be too saturated. There's going to be too much competition. Approach your business to a high level, and you will make consistent profits every single month doing wholesale. With that being said, something else which I've learned doing wholesale all these 5 years is that to only outsource and delegate tasks once your systems and processes are correct and efficient. Okay, with that being said, you can't go and outsource supplier or sourcing suppliers. You can't go and outsource, let's say, negotiating with suppliers, or you can't go and outsource going through price lists, or you can't go and outsource replenishment or placing replenishment orders. If the tasks which you have, or the systems which you currently have in your business are as efficient as possible. For example, let's say if you want to go and outsource replenishment, okay, it's pointless going paying a VA to go through each individual ASIN to calculate what your lead time is for that supplier, how much you've sold in the last 30 days, how much stock you currently got in stock, when to replenish, how much to replenish by. I can literally systemize that whole process in a click of a finger using one of the softwares which we use. Okay, that way, my VA can place a replenishment order in 5 minutes. Your VA might take 5 days. Okay, so think of that. Also at the same time, understanding how to repricing orders, inventory management, portfolio management, evaluations, all these things you can do in a very systemized manner, and you only want to outsource once you've got it as efficient as possible, because otherwise you're paying VAs to spend 5 days on a task which can take you 10 minutes. It's the same when you're placing orders with wholesalers. For example, when I first started wholesale, I was literally going in, calculating profitability, entering that in a spreadsheet. When it came to placing an order with a supplier, cross-referencing the ASIN with the SKU from a wholesaler, oh, that's a bundle, then calculating how many units I need to buy. Now, the way we've got it set up, you can do it all within a click of a button. So then instead of taking 3 hours to place a wholesale order, it now takes 5 minutes, okay? Like I said, only outsource and delegate once we've got to that 5 minute point, essentially. Because now you're paying your VAs to act as streamlined as possible, so your ROI on that VA will be as efficient as possible because they're now doing tasks in 5 minutes instead of spending 5 days. Okay, so just like that, your business will compound because now they can do much more tasks and churn your business much more money. That's something I've learned, and another mistake a lot of people make. Another thing as well, which is probably the most important, treat it like a business, okay? This is a business. It's not a get-rich quick scheme. It's not a side hustle, especially wholesale. We're doing B2B. We're working with companies. We're offering value to companies. So with that being said, your approach, your foundations, and your business ethos need to be in place. These need to be in place to get your accounts open with suppliers that will actually make you consistent profits over the long term, okay? You're not going to have to open accounts with these suppliers that will actually bring your business consistent profits if you don't know what you're doing. And I go through the approach, the ethos, exactly what to say to these suppliers, how to handle objection from these suppliers, to get accounts open with suppliers, know that I'm a seller, we'll be able to get the account with, like I said, all covered in my program. Okay, because it's literally everything I've learned over the last 5 years, which I've put down and essentially filmed on how to run the business as efficiently as possible to a high level, to a point that can actually bring you consistent profits every single month. So, honestly, to round off the video, Amazon FBA still works in 2025 if you're doing it to a high level. If you're doing it to a low level, still using information which you're finding from these generic YouTube channels, painting in a very easy way to make 2K a month in profit, that's not going to work. You're going to try it, you're going to end up with the same pool of cash just circling around. It'll probably dwindle as well. Okay? If you treat it like a real business, if you know what you're doing, if you have the knowledge behind you, if you put the work in, you can essentially achieve whatever you want to achieve, really. The opportunity is there. It's so unsaturated. There's so much opportunity when you know what you're doing. Okay? So if you're starting today, okay, just understand, it's not a get rich quick scheme. You'll have to build the foundations, but the rewards are there if you know what you're doing. So if you're starting, what I'd 100% ensure that you have an understanding of is, what do you actually want out of the business? If you want the consistent profits, if you want to actually build the business and put the work in, it's the perfect business for you. Because trust me, it's very unsaturated if you know what you're doing. With that being said, if you want literally all the answers in front of you, link in the description for the program. If not, drop subscribe, like the video if you like the video, and I'll catch you all in the next one.